This is why telling yourself to just stop feeling usually doesn't work. Your body needs evidence that the immediate moment is manageable. And once the intensity comes down, even a little, your thinking becomes more flexible. Here's a truth for you to remember. You do not need to feel perfectly calm. You only need enough space between the feeling and the choice. Let's talk about what happens within the first 90 seconds and why it matters. When emotion surges, use this short sequence: pause, plant, breathe, orient. Pause. Delay the message, the decision, the argument, or the post. Say, I need a minute before I respond. Plant. Put both feet on the floor or press your hands gently against a steady surface. It could be a table, it could be the wall. Breathe. Let your exhale be a little longer than your inhale. Keep it comfortable, no forcing, and no breath hold. Orient. Look around and quietly name 3 neutral things you can see and 2 sounds you can hear. Now, hear me when I say this. Does not erase the problem. You're simply telling your body, I am here. I have a little time. I do not have to react in this second. Let us practice together. Have you ever felt an emotion get so big that your thoughts started racing and every small problem suddenly felt urgent? Maybe you received a message that hurt your feelings. Maybe school pressure, family tension, friendship drama, and exhaustion all arrived at once. Your chest feels tight. Your face gets hot. Your hands feel restless, and you want to cry, argue, shut down, or leave the room. Then someone says, calm down. As if calm was a switch you forgot to flip. If this has happened to you, you are not failing. Your body is trying to protect you. You need a way to slow the moment down before the moment starts making choices for you. Today, I will show you how to calm yourself when emotions feel overwhelming, not by ignoring the feeling, but by helping your body and mind work together again. We will use a practical grace reset. You can remember when thinking clearly feels hard. Welcome to the Gracefully Growing Podcast, a place where teens and young adults learn practical tools for navigating life with gratitude, reflection, affirmation, connection, and empathy. I am Dr. Kemi, and I'm glad you're here. By the end of this episode, you will know what emotional overwhelm can feel like, what to do the first 90 seconds, and how to move from reaction to response using grace. And if you are a parent, a guardian, an educator, stay with me. At the end, I will give you language that helps a young person feel safe and supported instead of judged. Let us begin. But before we begin, young people, I want you to grab your journal. If you do not have a journal, I want you to grab a notebook. If you do not have a notebook, I want you to open the notes app on your phone so you can take some notes. If you're looking for an excellent journal to use on this journey, I have written the affirmation gratitude journal that is available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to post the link in the show notes for you. Now, we're going to build this entire episode around a student named Jordan. So I want you to imagine Jordan. Jordan's day begins with too little sleep and a rushed morning. At school, Jordan learns that a test grade is lower than expected. During lunch, a close friend replies to a serious message with one cold sentence. Whatever. Then a teacher announces another assignment due this week. None of those moments alone seem impossible, but together they feel like a lot. So Jordan walks into the next class, already tense. Someone taps a pencil. The teacher asks a simple question. A classmate laughs at something unrelated, but Jordan is certain the laugh is personal. Now, suddenly, the room feels too loud. The thoughts move too fast. And one small comment feels like the final straw. Jordan wants to send an angry message, walk out, or say something that cannot be taken back. This is an important moment for Jordan. Jordan does not need to solve the friendship, the grade, the assignment all at once. Jordan just needs to lower the emotional intensity long enough to make the next safe, wise choice. Let me pause here for a minute and ask you this. When you feel overwhelmed, what do you notice first in your body, your thoughts, or your reaction? Let's talk about what emotional overwhelm is. Emotional overwhelm happens when the demands of a moment feels bigger than your current ability to process them. Your brain may shift into protection mode. You might react quickly, freeze, avoid, cry, argue, go quiet, or struggle to organize your thoughts. The emotion is not the enemy. Anger may be pointing to unfairness or hurt. Anxiety may be pointing to uncertainty. Sadness may be asking for comfort or time. Embarrassment may be warning you that you feel exposed. The feeling carries information, but it should not have to run the entire meeting. 3 truths matter here. Truth number 1, a feeling can be intense without being permanent. Truth number 2, you can validate an emotion without obeying every impulse that comes with it. Truth number 3, the first goal is regulation, not resolution. Settle first, solve second. So, this is why telling yourself to just stop feeling usually doesn't work. That your body needs evidence that the immediate moment is manageable. And once the intensity comes down, even a little, your thinking becomes more flexible. Here's a truth for you to remember. You do not need to feel perfectly calm. You only need enough space between the feeling and the choice. Let's talk about what happens within the first 90 seconds and why it matters. When emotion surges, use this short sequence. Pause, plant, breathe, orient. Pause. Delay the message, the decision, the argument, or the post. Say, I need a minute before I respond. Plant. Put both feet on the floor or press your hands gently against a steady surface. It could be a table, it could be the wall. Breathe. Let your exhale be a little longer than your inhale. Keep it comfortable, no forcing, and no breath hold. Orient. Look around and quietly name 3 neutral things you can see and 2 sounds you can hear. Now, hear me when I say this. This does not erase the problem. You're simply telling your body, I am here. I have a little time. I do not have to react in this second. Let us practice together. If it is comfortable for you right now, I want you to place both feet on the floor. Let your shoulders drop. Notice one stable point beneath you. Take a gentle breath in. Now let that breath out slowly. Look for one color in the room. Notice one sound. Then say quietly, I can pause before I choose. If the breathing exercise feels uncomfortable, skip them and just focus on your feet, a steady object, cool water, or slowly naming what you see around you. Let's talk about how you can navigate overwhelm with the GRACE framework. I want you to think of the GRACE framework as 5 doors back to yourself. You may use all 5 or begin with the one that you need the most, starting with gratitude. Gratitude grounds you in one safe, steady truth. During overwhelm, gratitude is not the demand to be positive. It is a grounding practice. So you choose one true thing that is steady right now. For example, my feet are supported. I have made it through intense feelings before. There is one adult I can contact. I do not have to answer immediately. The goal is not to list everything good in your life. You just got to name the one thing. The goal is to help your attention find one point of stability. So in this overwhelming period, I want you to say, this moment is intense and I can find one steady thing. Let's talk about reflection. Reflection reminds you to recognize and rate what you are feeling. So you name what is happening without turning it into an identity. Instead of I am a mess, try I feel overwhelmed. Instead of everything is terrible, try several things feel hard at the same time. Then rate the intensity from 1 to 10. You're not trying to earn a lower number. You're simply collecting information. So you ask, what happened? What emotion is louder? What emotion is loudest? What does my body need? What can wait? So, fact. What do I know for sure? Feeling. What emotion or combination of emotions is present? Need. Do I need space, water, movement, quiet, clarification, comfort, or support? Next, what is the smallest safe action available? You see how it works? Now let's move on to affirmation. Affirmation is where you learn to use words your nervous system can believe. An affirmation should be honest enough to trust. So when you're overwhelmed, saying everything is perfect will probably feel false. Try language that acknowledges the moment and restores choice, like this. I can feel this without becoming this feeling. I do not have to solve everything right now. A pause is a responsible action. I can ask for help before I reach my limit. Repeat one sentence slowly. The purpose is not to argue with yourself. It is to give your mind a calmer instruction to follow. We're going to go on to connection. Connection is where we teach you to borrow calm from a safe person, because strong emotions often tells us to isolate or assume nobody will understand what we are going through. But regulation can happen through connection. Choose a trusted friend, school counselor, coach, mentor, family member, or a grounded friend and tell them what kind of help you need. Let me give you some sentence starters. I am overwhelmed. Can you stay with me while I settle down? I do not need advice yet. Can you listen for 5 minutes? I just want you to listen. Can you help me decide what must happen today and what can wait? This person can help you sort through your feelings. I need a quiet place and a check-in in 10 minutes. If your emotions feel unmanageable, you cannot regain control, or there is an immediate safety concern, tell a trusted adult right away and seek urgent local help. You hear me? You are not expected to handle crisis alone. Finally, we'll move on to empathy. Empathy is for you to respond to yourself without shame. So that self-empathy sounds like this. Of course, I am overloaded. A lot has happened. It doesn't excuse hurtful behavior, but it helps you correct your behavior without attacking your worth. So you can say something like, my reaction makes sense, and I still need to repair what I said, or I needed space, and next time I can ask for it before I explode. Empathy creates accountability that teaches instead of shame that traps. Then extend empathy outward. Because you see, the other person may not understand what was happening inside of you. So that when you are calm, communicate clearly. I was overwhelmed. I should not have spoken to you that way. And here's what I need to do differently. So here's a reset sentence for you. I can be kind to myself, responsible for my choices, and open to support all at the same time. Now, I know that you will not always remember a long strategy in a hard moment. So I invite you to create a short, personal, calm menu before you date it. And here's how you create a personal calm menu. Choose one option in each of these categories. There are 4 categories. Your body. Stretch your hands. Walk briefly with permission. Splash cool water on your face, or sit somewhere steady. Attention. Name 5 colors. Count slow exhales. Organize one small space, or focus on a neutral sound. Words. Use one believable affirmation or write one sentence naming the feeling. You can't tame the feeling unless you name the feeling. Connection. Identify 2 trusted people and the exact message you can send from the ones that I've offered you. Now, save this menu. I want you to save this menu in your phone notes or on a card in your backpack. The best calming tool is not the most impressive one. It is the one that you can remember, access safely, and actually use. We have an anonymous question. So here's today's anonymous question. When I get overwhelmed, I either cry or get angry. Then I feel embarrassed because people think I am overreacting. How do I stop? Well, first, crying or feeling angry does not automatically mean you're overreacting. Those may be signs that your system is overloaded. The goal is not to become emotionless. The goal is for you to notice the earlier signals so you can respond sooner. So what I want you to do is I want you to start tracking what happens before the reaction. So were you tired? Were you hungry? Already stressed? Did you feel ignored, rushed, criticized, or left out? What did you notice in your body 5 minutes earlier? Then I want you to choose one early intervention sentence. I am getting overwhelmed and I need a minute. Or can we continue this conversation after I settle down a little bit? Practice this when you're calm so that the words are easier for you to access later. And after the moment has happened, I want you to replace that embarrassment with reflection. So what happened? What made it worse? Who can support you next time? And finally, remember this. Every episode gives you information for a better plan. If you are an adult listening to me right now, this portion is for you. When a teen is emotionally flooded, a lecture usually adds more information to a brain that is already overloaded. I want you to lower your voice, reduce the audience around the teenager, use fewer words, and offer two simple choices. So try this. You will save. We can pause. Would you like a quiet space or for me to stay nearby? Then, do you want help calming first? Or are you ready to talk? Avoid saying, calm down. You're being dramatic. And this is not a big deal. The situation may look small. Now, the situation may look small to you, while the total load feels enormous to them. After the teen settles down, return to accountability and problem solving. So ask the teen, what did you notice before the feeling got this big? What can we plan for next time? Is there support you need to turn? Is there support you need from me or someone at school? If intense emotional episodes are frequent, interfere with daily life, or seem to be getting harder to manage, please involve an appropriate health professional or school support person. Seeking support is a strength and not punishment. Back to you, teens. Here is my challenge for you for the next 24 hours. I want you to build a 3-line calm card. Line 1, my early signal is. I know I'm getting overwhelmed when. Line 1 should be my early signal. I know I'm getting overwhelmed when. Line 2, my reset. The first safe thing I will do is. Line 3, my connection. The person I can contact is. Then I want you to add one affirmation you can believe, such as, I can pause before I choose. Practice the card once while you're calm. Skills become easier to use under pressure when they are familiar to you. So what part of the calm card will help you the most? Is it the early signal, the reset, the connection, or the affirmation? I want to know in your comment. Please only share what you feel comfortable sharing. But before you go, remember this. Calm is not pretending that the emotion does not matter. Calm is helping yourself become steady enough to understand what the emotion is saying and choose what happens next. So if this episode helped you, subscribe to the Gracefully Growing podcast and share it with someone who needs a practical plan for big feelings. And if you want support practicing these tools in real life, I want you to join the Living with Grace Team program and our free school community. We are building emotional resilience, confidence, and connection, one practical step at a time. The enrollment link is in the description. Tell me in the comments, which part of grace helps you to return to yourself? Is it gratitude? Is it reflection? Is it affirmation, connection, or empathy? Remember this. You are allowed to ask for help, and you can learn to navigate even the most intense emotions with grace. Until next time, stay growing, stay living with grace. Remember, you got this, and I am rooting for you. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Gracefully Growing. Thank you so much for tuning in and growing with me. Remember, living with grace means showing gratitude, taking the time for reflection, speaking powerful affirmations, building strong connections, and practicing daily empathy with yourself and others. If today's episode gave you something to think about, inspired you, or made you smile, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also download today's free resource in the show notes and join our gracefully growing community on social media for more tools, encouragement, and real talk. Until next time, keep showing up for yourself, keep growing, and most of all, keep living with grace. I am Dr. Kemi. See you next week.